Moving on to the next one. Giants versus Tampa Bay. This game is at a 44. We have Tampa Bay favored by 3 points. In this one, we seen Odell come back, had an immediate impact, 2 touchdowns. We seen Brandon Marshall come to life. We seen Sterling Shepard continue his success. He's low-key been their best receiver so far, but Odell is back. So this Giant offense is now a problem. I know they can't run the ball, so Eli is going to be airing it out. If you want to do just a pure volume play, Eli is a good option. On Tampa Bay side of the ball, I do like Jameis, man. I think he has a bounce-back game this week. He struggled mightily last week, but Minnesota, they play really good, man. They outplayed them from start to finish. But Jacquizz Rodgers, I think he's in play. This will be his last game where he's supposed to be a starter. I know Doug Martin comes back off suspension. I don't know if Doug Martin will immediately get the starting job back, but this will be his last week where he's not being pushed by another back. So if you want to hop on that value play of Jacquizz Rodgers, check him out. Mike Evans. Mike Evans is always in play, man. Whenever you have these studs, no matter the matchup, you can lean on them if you want to. Now, I think there are better options out there, but Mike Evans will be one of those guys that's lower owned because it's just a sneakier play, man. It's a tougher matchup. The team total is not as high, but I think Mike Evans is a good play. Moving on to the next one, we have the Eagles versus the Chargers. This game is at a 47, and we have the Chargers favored by 1. That's a little weird. I don't like that one. I would have thought it would be the other way around, man. You got Wentz. He's been playing like a monster. You got LeGarrette Blount. I think he's going to establish himself as the lead dog in that backfield now. Finally, after getting no carries, he came out the next game and dominated. Darren Sproles is out for the season, and we probably seen the last of Darren Sproles, man. He broke his collarbone and his leg. He had 2 injuries in one play, and he was already thinking about retiring after this year anyway. So, man, Darren Sproles had an excellent career. Shout out to him. But I think we've seen the last of Mr. Darren Sproles. So that's going to put LeGarrette Blount on our radar. And it's also going to put Swindle Smallwood, however you say his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. It's going to put him on our radar. He's going to play that Darren Sproles role. He's going to be the guy catching all the dump-offs, passing situations. Smallwood will be on the field. And they have another back, Clemens, I believe. And he's pretty solid too, man. They still have 3 backs. They're pretty deep. But I think Blunt and Smallwood will be the feature backs in this Eagles offense this week. And I think we can pick on the Chargers defense, like straight up. Their secondary is pretty solid though. And I know Eagles don't necessarily have that dominant receiver who can, take advantage of good matchups. They don't have a really high volume target type of receiver, man. They just do a lot of slant routes, a lot of out routes, and hopefully somebody breaks a big play. But I think Verrett, he's a very good covered corner, man. The Chargers have pretty good secondary as far as locking people up. So I think the Eagles receivers could struggle, but we can exploit that running game, man. So I might look at Blunt and Smallwood. They might be on my radar. On Charger side of the ball, we don't know if Melvin Gordon's going to play. We know he got hurt. He re-aggravated his knee. He left the game, came back, and then left again. So I don't know what's going on with that situation. We still got to wait and see. If he is out, Brandon Oliver, and then they have this guy named Eckel. I don't really know too much about him, but I know he's on the roster, and he would be the guy in line to get some of the carries. Now, if we do get news that Gordon is out, I'm going to dive in deep and look at those two backs, man, because they'll be super cheap. I know Brandon Oliver, we all remember him from last year. He looked just like Darren Sproles, really small, feisty back, catches passes, very quick and agile. But yeah, I don't want too much from the Chargers, man. I don't. Keenan Allen is always an option. Like I said, when you have these studs, no matter the matchup, Keenan Allen will be in play. And I'll take that back, man, because I do like some Phillip Rivers, man. He had a terrible game last week. We can look for him for a little bounce back. This is the type of matchup he'll thrive in. Philly has not been able to slow people down as far as passing the ball. Run defense is A1, though, man. You do not want it with that front seven. I'm telling you, you don't want it, man. There's some really nice players on that front seven. And they'll get after you, man, when you're running the ball. So bad matchup for the running backs, I should say. And more of the passing game is what we want to attack. Moving on to the next one. This is one I'm really invested in. We got San Francisco versus Arizona. This game is at a 44. And we have Arizona favored by 7 points. In this one, I'm all over Arizona. I'm stacking them all the way up. I'm talking from Carlson Palmer, Chris Johnson, Fitz, J.J. Nelson, Jerron Brown, Gresham. I want all of the Cardinals offense, man. I think they have a really, really solid game. San Francisco, their defense has been struggling. They're working, man. They're trying to get better. It's just not happening right now. So I'm going to take advantage of that. We seen Carlson Palmer have another good game versus Dallas, even though they didn't get the dub. Jerron Brown should have had 2 touchdowns. He had one, came back for a penalty, and then one he was just short at the goal line, man. So I'm looking at this Arizona offense. With David Johnson being out, we know that the Cardinals are going to be passing the ball a ton, man. So I'm keying in on them. This is my number one offense for this week. Number one stack. Carlson Palmer. I'm locking it in. San Francisco side of the ball. Arizona's pretty solid on defense. I don't want too much. If I had to pick anybody, it would be the running back. It would be Carlos Hyde. We know Arizona's secondary is A1. They're official. I don't want to pick on them, especially with Hoyer throwing the ball. No, thank you. I'm okay. And then the last game on the main slate is going to be Oakland versus Denver. This game is at a 46, and we have Denver favored by 3 points. Now, in this game, Oakland's defense is terrible. I'm looking at Trevor Siemian. Look, he hasn't made, dude. Trevor Siemian is pretty good when he plays at home. Great defense around him, like I said. All the weapons. We got C.J. Anderson looking very good running the ball so far this year. Jamal Charles comes in behind him. He's been looking good this year. Trevor Siemian, he's playing his role, man. He's not trying to do too much. He's just making solid throws, and he is getting the job done, especially at home, man. I want y'all to dig into that. So far at home, he's been excellent, man. I don't feel comfortable enough playing him on the road just because his skill set is not the greatest. So you want him to feel as comfortable as possible. So if we can get Denver's defense out there, which I think they will, make quite a few stops versus Oakland team, even though Oakland's offense is very solid. Very, very solid. I think Trevor Siemian could show up, man, in a big way. Now, I have to talk about Oakland's offense because y'all know I'm very high on Oakland's offense. I always talk them up. I love me some Derek Carr, Amari Cooper, Crabtree. They're very good, man. Marshawn Lynch. But we seen them on Sunday night get embarrassed by Washington, man. I'm talking offense, defense, special teams. They got dominated the whole game. And they have a tough matchup. I think Oakland's offense will take a bit of a hit these next few weeks. They have some really, really tough matchups, man. And season long, I'm trying to shop off Derek Carr and Crabtree just because their schedule is brutal. We know one thing about Derek Carr. He struggles in divisional matchups. He's not the greatest when he plays when he plays teams in his division. I don't know for what reason. Even like teams like the Chargers, man, he really struggles. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm not gonna test the Denver defense. So far, they've been excellent this year. No fly zone is still in full effect, even after losing T.J. Ward. Run defense has been looking phenomenal. They held Zeke to 9 yards, man. So it's gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be a challenge, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Oakland offense put up some points, which would be another reason Trevor Siemian would be so intriguing this week. I love the price on him, and I think it's gonna be a solid. I think it's gonna be a solid play. But Oakland offense, I'm not testing it. I'm not testing the waters. If you want to be contrarian, you want to hop in there, go for it, man. But from what I've seen so far this year, I'm not doing it. That's going to do it, man. This is the slate breakdown. It's going to be part 1 and part 2. I want y'all to bless up, cash out. Let's get to the green line. I will be back at y'all tomorrow with some of my picks. Until then, y'all stay up, man. Let's get it.